This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you're talking about at BYU-Idaho. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Today's hosts are
Abigail Barber,
Preslee Carroll,
and Maiya Waddell. Today we're talking all about end of semester fun. So welcome to the very last episode of The Spot podcast for this semester. We're so happy you guys could join us. So what's first on our list?
So we're going to talk about spot takes about the spring semester.
Yes. All right.
I have one. So I think the spring is such a nice semester. I know it's less populated, but that's kind of nice in some ways because it's really cool. Like there's no snow. Well, there is some snow at the beginning, but we get some cold days at the beginning, and we get some of the hottest days of the year by the end. And I really like the spring semester. It's so beautiful. It's kind of magical in a way. Like there's an anticipation. It's summertime, so you get a lot of fun activities that you don't get in other semesters, and you get you just get a lot of cool things in the spring. And it's not very populated, and sometimes that can feel lonely, but you can go on hikes and you can do all this fun stuff. So, and less competition for if you're wanting to get something at the crossroads, or if you're wanting to go to dances, it's less crowded, so you have more room to do cool stuff, and I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Do you have a hot take regarding end of semester fun and finals and stuff?
Yeah, so looking forward to spring semester. I'm part of an events planning committee on campus, and we're planning for a week-long event for the spring semester. So that's June 2nd through the 7th, and we just have a lot of fun activities happening and a lot of opportunities for students to get involved.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we're going into some exciting spring things. I know you mentioned warmer weather, so what comes with the warm weather?
Feels better for your mental health, sunshine. You don't have to wear coats outside frequently. You don't have to worry about freezing to death or going outside with your hair wet. I just love it for those reasons. And you can do hikes. If you like that kind of stuff, you can spend more time outside. It's really beautiful outside too. And the snow's melted, and the snow can be pretty at first, but it gets kind of gross after a while.
Yes.
The snow piles, the rotting snow piles.
Yes.
So you don't get that in the spring as much. And I love seeing the sunlight streaming through the trees, like the leaves. Like it's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. I like warmer weather. I grew up in California, so.
Oh, yeah.
You're just naturally drawn to the warm weather?
Yep.
Yeah. How about you?
I love the warm weather. Like, I live at Sundance, and looking out the window every day, like, Porter Park is always so filled. And people say there's not a lot to do in Rexburg. In spring, there's so much to do. You just have to get out and get involved. There's lots of hikes. There's lots of outdoor activities. Rigby Lake is another one. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff to do. And even on campus, there's a bunch of activities, country dancing being one, and then activities that student activities and involvement put on. So there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, speaking of that, what are some events to look forward to?
So, like I mentioned earlier, our week-long event is June 2nd through the 7th, and right now we're planning on June 2nd being our service night, so that gives students a good opportunity to come and get involved and serve the community. So we serve places like the Madison County Senior Center, the school district, the Rexburg Free Clinic, and then the Family History Center, and there's also going to be a lot of on-campus service activities. So we're going to be making snack packs and hygiene kits and coloring books for the community, and then Tuesday, like we were talking, there's lots of stuff to do in Rexburg, and I feel like people don't really know what there is, so it's our Rexburg Day, and it gives students an opportunity to go out into the community and do fun things. So we'll have activities set up at Kelly Canyon, Rigby Lake, we'll have hikes at Crest Creek, R Mountain, and then Wednesday is our rodeo, and that's going to be at Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Rigby, and then we're going to do country dancing afterwards. There's going to be lots of games though, food trucks. There's a lot of opportunities for the students to get involved, so yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm curious, is there normally a big turnout to like events that you guys will hold on campus and things?
Yeah, our rodeo especially gets a lot of hype. Like we've held it in the fall, and it's probably one of our most highly attended events. And so it's the first time doing it in the spring semester, but the weather is really good, like you said. So we're going to be taking advantage of that and be putting on an outside rodeo.
Nice. that sounds like fun.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that the school puts on so many events for us. And we can find it on I Belong, right? Where can we find all the events?
Yep, so I Belong will have all the information, and then the Student Activity and Involvement Desk downstairs will have a lot of information too.
Yes, awesome. What are some other fun spring activities that we like to do?
Just in general, swimming outside is fun. We don't really have a lot of that in Rexburg, so we have indoor swimming in the art building, but we don't really have a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, there's hiking, like I've mentioned a few times already. A lot of people like that. There's some good trails that don't have a bunch of snow and ice in them anymore, for most of the spring anyway, generally. I remember one time we had snow in June when I was here, my first spring up here, and that was really crazy. But it's fine. But yeah, by way of fun activities, yeah, you can do stuff like that. We have a lot of the same activities that we have in the winter. There's not any ice skating or snowball fights if it was legal to throw a snowball at somebody and let it hit them in Rexburg, because there's that one. But if that was legal, we'd love to throw snowballs at each other.
Yes.
And then no building snowmen. But you can get ice cream and eat it outside and not feel like you're gonna die. And yeah, you can do a lot of fun stuff outside, water games. In Porter Park, you can do fun stuff with your friends, and for longer too, especially if you're wearing sunscreen, because staying protected from the sun is important.
Is the sun pretty strong?
I'd say yes. Just walking to class, I typically have to wear sunscreen, and I have to remember to reapply it throughout the day, so if I don't want to get sunburns.
Yeah, that's true.
I actually got a pretty mean sandal tan last time. It wasn't too bad, and it was more of a tan than a burn, but
Still wasn't very good.
It looked a little funny. So yeah.
Would you say that, because I go home for spring and summer, would you say that up here, whenever spring semester happens, there's not a lot of people up here?
Definitely not. The fall is definitely by far the most populated semester. I've only been in the fall once, but definitely a lot more people here, a lot more crowded. Bigger lines to wait in. So that's one nice thing about the spring, is that you get less people. It can be lonelier. A lot of people are off track this semester, or they defer, or just doing other stuff. And that's fair, but the spring is really cool and it's really pretty, and you don't have a bunch of snow everywhere freezing your face off. And I like that about the spring. It's kind of empty, but it's really beautiful and serene, and yeah, it's a really cool semester. I think it's very special. You get lots of space and time for reflection. If you're extroverted, you might struggle, but you can also make a lot of friends, because we have thousands of students here on campus, even in the spring. So make friends, hang out with your friends. But yeah, not a lot of competition for things, like I said. So it's pretty nice in that way. Like, it feels more individual, and then in classes, it feels more individual. It already feels individual in classes because professors get to know us a lot of the time, but it feels even more individual and more personalized, and it's a special time where people are like trying out new things. Even the campus tries out new things. Like, they test out some events, or like they're hiring people. It's great for job opportunities in that way too, because if you get a job in the spring and you're back in the fall, you beat out a ton of competition pretty easily, compared to if you're trying to get a job just straight into the fall. That's a lot harder. So yeah, lots of opportunities in the spring, lots of really cool fun things, test pilots for things, and yeah, and when they have snacks after Devo, then there's more, there's generally more stuff to go around, because there's less students.
Yeah.
And less lines. So.
Yeah. I remember when they did date night,
Yeah.
I think it was either winter semester, the first time they did it in a long time, they ended up running out of ice cream,
Yes, I was there
within
for
the
that.
first 20 minutes or so, and we were shocked. We could not believe that many people had gone. So with you saying that, I'm sure there's going to be lots of ice cream left over if they do it during spring.
Yeah, no, the second time they did date night, I went to both of the date nights, the first times, and I actually got ice cream the first time.
No way.
Somehow I
Lucky.
managed to get ice cream. My date didn't, but he wanted a different flavor than I did, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got ice cream, and it was fun, but it did run out really quickly.
Oh yeah.
I think it was partially because it was date night, and they didn't think that so many students would show up.
Yes.
They underestimated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
It was absolutely packed. I remember going up the stairs in the MC, and just like we were all back to back, super squeezed in, trying to get up and down because there were so many people trying to get up there to play Just Dance and go see what they had up there. Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Yeah, I had fun. I actually, the first date night, my date and I got to do some fun stuff. Like, he wanted to do karaoke, so we did that. I mean, the first couple of activities he wanted to do were too packed, so we didn't do them. But, and I wanted to do the dancing stuff because dancing.
Yes.
So we did that, and yeah, it was fun. And they had an apology ice cream devo. I think like some weeks after. So.
Yeah.
But then the semester after that, they had a ton of ice cream as a precaution. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yes.
Love ice cream.
It's the best.
What are your thoughts in terms of like the spring events? Do y'all ever worry about if people will show up with the less amount of students here, or?
I think it all comes down to advertising and making sure the students know what is going on campus. I was going to say campus recreation during the spring has so many fun activities, and the ORC also, they have a lot of opportunities for you guys to rent out equipment, for students to rent out equipment and go and experience Rexburg and do stuff outside. So yeah, definitely students who are staying in the spring, they should take an advantage of that. But yeah, as far as our events, it just comes down to advertising and making sure the students know what's going on. Yeah. And then usually we get a good turnout if we put in the work to do that.
Yeah, awesome. That's so exciting. So I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, what are some like fun events coming up during the spring semester that like right after the semester ends? What are some that are coming up? Do you know?
Ooh, right after. I don't know. Springfest isn't till the 7th week of the semester. Usually we're in the 4th week, but we pushed it back for this year. I know date night will happen. That's usually around the 3rd, 4th week.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think they're still planning on that. There's also a YSA conference later in June that's happening, and it's for our entire area. So that should be pretty fun.
Cool. That'll be fun.
I know that you guys as well, what do y'all do for like Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, those kinds of events?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the 4th of July, we're actually doing a float in the parade that represents BYU-Idaho. So we love to get involved in the local parade, so we'll be participating in the one in Rigby too. Yes. And then the one here in Rexburg for the 4th of July. And we just build a float, and then we throw candy or popsicles or whatever it is. But we love to represent BYU-Idaho as a whole university. And then Mother's Day and stuff, I know Campus Life does some fun activities, and it's like making gifts for your moms or whatever it is. But
oh, that's so cool. Do you guys also host fireworks shows, or is that just the city of Rexburg?
So I think that's just the city of Rexburg, but there is talk that fireworks may be coming to campus soon. Little sneak peek, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
That is so fun. I feel like it's pretty exciting to be here on campus during those holidays.
I agree, 100%. Lots to do, lots of activities, and fun ways for students to get involved.
Yeah, I agree.
What are your thoughts, Abby?
I think that the holidays are really fun, but I always miss my family because Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yeah.
So, and then 4th of July is actually my mom's birthday, which is kind of ironic because I was born on Constitution Day, so it's kind of funny. So it seems patriotic, but my mom's married to a British guy, so it's like... So it's like, this is fun.
Yeah.
During 4th of July, I miss my mom because it's her birthday, and I miss spending time with my family. So I haven't had a 4th of July with my family in a little bit. We do get school off on that day, but it's normally in the middle of the week.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's not a lot of time to travel for that. And then there's also a lot of homework to get done, so. But I do get to see fireworks with my roommates normally, or by myself if I feel up to it.
Yeah.
It's a nice, restful day. But yeah, it's fun, and there's festivities normally later in the day. But yeah.
I was just thinking, are there any good places, thinking about like fireworks, do people tend to go to the dunes to set them off, or?
Never been to the dunes. Yeah, there's a lot of places I haven't been to that it would make sense for me to have been to already because I'm a senior.
No, you're good.
But yeah, what are the dunes like?
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. You're just driving and then out in the middle of nowhere there's a bunch of sand dunes, but I would imagine that that's where people go to set fireworks off just because of the safety of it. Like there's not a lot of grass or shrubs or trees, so yeah.
And it's super sandy too.
Yeah, it's super fun.
You can imagine.
It's a fun time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, do we have any fun spring semester memories?
Ooh. Watching fireworks with my roommates is fun.
Yeah.
That's always, yeah, I like doing that. I have lots of fun memories dancing in the spring. You can dance outside sometimes in the spring, which I love doing that. It's so fun. Just beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like the trees they bloom and then the leaves turn green during the semester. And it's easily the most beautiful of the semesters, and the weather's normally really nice. You have to wear sunscreen.
Oh yeah.
Sunscreen is important, but I love dancing in the spring because there's less people on the floor, so you don't bump into people as much.
Yeah.
And there's less people to dance with, but there's pros and cons to it, so.
Yeah. Do you go swimming?
Sometimes, not a lot, just because I'm busy. Yeah, but I don't normally in other semesters either for the indoor stuff,
yeah.
but
That's fair.
do you swim a lot?
I'm normally here for fall and winter, so
Yes.
typically it gets cold, so I don't bring my swimsuit up, but maybe one of these days I'll bring it and try swimming up in Rexburg, because normally I'll do it back in Texas.
Yeah, I bet it's fun to swim in Texas, but
Oh yeah, it's hot all the time, so you can just go swimming anytime.
Yes.
Just wear your sunscreen though, because it does get hot.
yeah, I'm sure it's worse than here.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to ask the same about you. Like, do you have any fun activities you like to do during the spring?
Yeah, so last spring semester I was part of a mud volleyball team that Campus Rec puts on, and it's just a tournament style thing, and my team just competed until we lost out, but it's so fun. It's up at the mud pits at the upper field, so look forward to that. It's super fun. You get to play in the mud and play volleyball, so what else can you ask for? But yeah, other than that, I love to be outside, so hikes are always fun. I love going on hikes with roommates. I have a lot of good memories of that. Water activities are fun. Just being at Porter Park. Like Porter Park is electric. It comes alive in the spring semester. But yeah, what about you? Do you have any fun spring? Well, yeah, right.
Is there anything you would like to do in the spring if you were up here?
I've seen the color fun runs, but that might be more summer session that I've seen them happen. Does that happen during the spring? Like the color fun runs? Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I think they might have happened at some point while I've been here, but during the spring, but I don't really keep up with that because I'm normally really busy, so.
You're good, yeah. I think Campus Recreation does hold some sort of fun run, whether it's like a 4th of July themed or color fun run. Yeah, they do something though.
Yeah. So I would love to try that, or just like what you guys have been talking about, 4th of July up in Rexburg. I think that'd be cool.
Yep.
What I also wanted to ask, what about Easter? Like, do you guys do anything for Easter, or?
Easter doesn't always happen, and it varies. Like when Easter happens does change. So sometimes it's in the spring, sometimes it's not. I remember last year, I think it was in the winter semester, but my ward had an Easter egg hunt. So your YSA wards will do fun stuff outside, and the stakes will do. If you're in a YSA ward, I'm sorry, married wards, I don't know if you have a nice time or not. But we have stuff like Water Olympics. But we also, for Easter, we had an Easter egg hunt where we had just the plastic Easter eggs and we had candy in them. And yeah, so they hit them around the housing complex's clubhouse. And I went to the gym first to look for, like, not directly first, but I was the first person there. And there were a ton of eggs there. So I had a lot more candy than everybody else at the end, so I won my ward Easter egg hunt. Nice. So that's a good memory, but I think that was in the winter semester, so yeah.
That's still fun regardless though, because I know that they try to do that, because Easter is, well, depending what semester it is, Easter can land on different days, so yeah.
Yeah, I love Easter as a holiday, so.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah, I know in the past we've done events like the happening around campus, and I think it's just remembering the Savior and the big focus that we are a church-affiliated school. Like, I think it's really important that we get the message and the reason for the season out. So that's always one to look forward to. I know this year, though, it's not happening while we're in school, like during a semester. I think it's in between the break, if I'm correct.
Yes, it is.
Yep. So that's sad, but there's still lots of fun Easter things to do. You'll be spending time with family, so.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know Holy Week's coming up. Are you guys doing anything with that, or?
I don't think our department specifically is, but I'm sure somebody in student activities and involvement is.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll just be displayed at the desk, so.
Yeah, so much fun. Do you guys have any other spring semester fun memories that you'd like to share?
I'm trying to think. I can mostly think of dance stuff because, I mostly do dance stuff when I'm not doing other communication stuff. But it's a fun semester, lots of exploration stuff, experimenting, I've noticed. But one thing, if I can shift the topic a little bit, one thing that I remembered is sometimes we have FSY.
Oh, yeah.
Because FSY happens in the summer.
What's that like? Yeah.
So it means that a lot of students who are counselors can't be up at campus during the spring semester because they need to work for a certain amount of weeks, and the spring semester cuts into a big chunk of that.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have some FSY sessions up here on campus, which is pretty cool, but yeah, it's pretty fun. I haven't noticed anything too crazy. I haven't seen anything interfering, like, really, because we have tour groups all the time, even like during the school year for schools that are on track. Because winter and fall, those happen during normal times. So we get tour groups of high school people and kids, and it's really fun. So like seeing FSY stuff happening at all, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's not anything too crazy, and you can still do stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever see them? Do they ever see you, kind of thing, or is it just they keep them far away?
I remember seeing like groups of kids around, but I'm not sure like if they're for FSY or not. I'm like, don't know anymore.
No, you're good. Yeah.
But I don't know how they schedule that or how that works really. I don't normally bump into people. I know they have some graduation ceremonies, especially in the spring semester, which is pretty cool to see. But last year in the spring, I remember I was walking through the Ice Center a lot because it was on the way back from my housing, and all the time, like pretty much every time I'd walk through at one point in the semester, there was some graduation happening from a nearby school, and I was like, it's like, I just did dance practice stuff, and I'm not, like, I did not expect to run into the, to graduation stuff where everyone's dressed nicely, and taking pictures with their families, and it's really fun and really cool, but it was just like, wow, I did not realize we offered this before spring last time. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in the spring.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you seen FSY around, or is it pretty?
I haven't, but I've heard like my roommate's doing it, and she was planning on staying for the spring, but if she gets accepted, then she'll not be able to be here. So like, yeah, you said a lot of students I know participate in that, and I'm sure it's such a fun time. Like that's something I want to do eventually, but yes. Yeah.
I'm interested in being a counselor. I've been a counselor for 1 week, but not in the US. It was for the Birmingham, England session in 2023, and I was I had a special role as a counselor that we don't have from the U.S., where I helped. I was able to provide special attention to one specific youth who had special needs and needed more accommodation, and that was a really special experience for me. But it's definitely not the typical experience, and it was completely volunteer. So I know a lot of students prefer to work when they're doing FSY, and that's totally fair. But yeah, I think even if you can do 1 week of FSY, 1 or 2 weeks as a volunteer, it's worth it. Like it's a great spiritual experience. It was a really good experience for me, so recommend it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did it this past summer. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
But I was also doing online classes at the same time, which the way it worked out, I know, crazy. So there were a lot of moments where I just had to like rush home because my days would end at 10. So I'd like rush home and like use my breaks for doing homework so I could get it all turned in. It was bad.
Hustling.
But like, yeah, the Lord was really on my side with that. But FSY was a lot of fun. It was great to be with the kids and to give them that amazing spiritual experience. So yeah. One more question though. If you guys could take everything we talked about with spring and put it down to one thing, what makes spring special to you?
Ooh, the atmosphere.
The atmosphere?
It's something else. Like you don't get it in any other semester. There's just something special about the spring and the new life that you see coming onto campus. Like you can kind of see it near the end of the winter semester, but it's not fully blossomed yet, and it's still developing. So yeah, it's so special and peaceful, and I love it.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. The atmosphere is just, like I said earlier, it's just electric. Like the weather gives for so many opportunities to do fun things and participate in fun activities. So, and then the community, I'd say, like there are less people on campus, but that gives you such a great opportunity to make new friends and meet new people and create new connections. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
And less competition for the temple if you want to get a reservation like to do temple stuff. Then
I've heard they've been like super booked. So yeah, that's great that they have openings in the spring. Yeah, I would say from the time that I'm here, kind of when spring starts, I love the warm weather and like all the flowers come back. That makes me really happy, and just seeing how excited everybody is to start the new semester. So yeah. All right, and so I actually have a poll question that we asked our listeners. We asked everybody what your ultimate end of semester survival strategy is, and 22% of you guys said cramming and hoping for the best, 27% of you said caffeine and adrenaline survival, 18% of you said actually studying responsibly, and 31% said accepting fate and napping instead. So thank you guys for answering back to the poll. And I actually have a spotlight of some events that are happening this week when this episode airs. So the semester officially ends when this episode airs. Great job on getting through the semester. And then all day today, Grad Fest is going to be happening at the Manwaring Center, room 200A, which is the Career Center lobby. It starts at 9 a.m., or it started at 9 a.m., but it's going until 6 p.m. So you can have fun picking up your cap, your gown, your stole, and tassel in the university bookstore, your name card for convocation, receive grad cash, which is worth $5 for the university store sale, enjoy refreshments, other celebration and games, festivities, and so much more. Like there was a whole list on the I Belong website. So have fun with Grad Fest if you are graduating. And on Friday, there's a commencement event happening from 1 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. at the Ice Center Auditorium. Elder John C. Pingree Jr. will be a special guest at the commencement event, as well as many others. Graduates should line up at the Ice Center by 12:30 p.m. for the processional, which will begin at 12:45 p.m. Attendees should be in their seat by 12:30 p.m. If you cannot make it, you can also watch the event online. And there's also more information about graduation and the graduation events on the I Belong website, so make sure to check that out for an extensive list of fun weekly activities. That's it for our spotlight. Thank you guys for tuning in, and just remember, if you want to go to any of the events that we talked about, make sure to check out I Belong. And where else should they look as well?
The involvement desk has a lot of information, and then weekly emails to the student population. Those have a lot of info too.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming
You're
on.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, you've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were
Abigail Barber,
Preslee Carroll,
and Maiya Waddell. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university, and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Producers for the hosts with supervision by Brandon Isle and Natalia Hepworth. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads, and The Perpetual Taking a Time by Artificial Music. To listen to more episodes of The Spot, like and follow us on social media, or visit our website, byui.edu/radio, and click podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to The Spot podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review of the show, and leave a comment on what we should talk about next.